Cool. Okay. Welcome to, man, we got a big crew today. That's awesome. I think the volume's on over there, but it's okay. Welcome back to Christian Karate. This is Family Karate Night. We're gonna start off with the creed, okay? Begin all things with prayer, weapon, shield. Karate is for self-defense and the defense of others, never to attack or force my will upon my fellow man. Instead, I seek the will of the Lord for all people, regardless of religion, color, or creed. I humbly commit my life as a warrior for the glory of the Lord, who's called me to his purpose and salvation through faith and grace alone. All right, Senpai Joe.
Feet together.
Sir.
All right, start running. One push-up, one sit-up, go. It's not a race, just do it right. All right, back on your feet. 2 push-ups, 2 sit-ups, go. Back up running. Three push-ups and sit-ups. Four push-ups and sit-ups. All right, this is the last one. Really put your feet into it. Let's see some jogging. 5 push-ups and sit-ups. Feet together.
Sir.
All right, we're going to do our neck stretches. Forward, side, side, back, stand at attention. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're going to do our arm pulls next. So arm across. Make sure your palms facing the ceiling. That's the best way you're going to get the stretch. Pull as tight as you can. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And other arm, same thing. Make sure you got that palm facing up at the ceiling. Pull as tight as you can with this arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and we're gonna do shoulder rotations. Start off big, going forward. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Small ones forwards. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arms down. All right, we're gonna do trunk twists next. So just get your feet about shoulder width apart. Arms up like this. And we're gonna go to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, next up, we are doing knee rotations. So feet together, legs together, and starting left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And straight up. All right, next we're gonna do leg stretches. Get your feet about double shoulder width apart if you can. Both hands flat on the ground. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand up, make sure you go slow. Don't want to hurt yourself. Put your hands out like this. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And slowly back up. Reverse your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And slowly back up. You do it quick, you're going to be feeling it tomorrow. Both hands in reverse. Reach back as far as you can. Please do not injure yourselves. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And slowly back up. Leave your feet at double shoulder width apart. Come down on this leg. Point your toes straight up. And we're going to be reaching over our sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And stretching forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, plant that foot. Shift slowly over to the other side. Toes pointed upward. And stretch over the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Face forward. And make sure you're keeping your leg as straight as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down on your butts. Butterfly stretches. Right now we're going to focus on pushing your legs down as much as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And feet, hands on your feet. Pull it in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And slowly let your legs out. All right, on your feet. I'm going to turn things back over to Sensei Spencer.
Appreciate you. All right, square horse stance, ready? Move. Think about that mental checklist as we're going through this, guys. Which way are my toes pointed? Right, they're straight forward. As we're moving back up, looking at our knees, right? We got our knees, slight bend in the knees. Okay, we're a little wider than shoulder width. We're gonna take our hands, put them right here at our belts. We're gonna go ahead and stand nice and tall. Chest nice and tall. That's your posture, okay? Ready, nice and loud now. Blocks at 1. Ready, begin. Truth, courage, respect, endurance, integrity, self-control. Truth, courage, respect, endurance, integrity, self-control. Truth, courage, respect, endurance, integrity, self-control. It's all right, it'll come with time. All right, feet together. Fighting horse, right side back, ready, move. Straight punch, we're working on those ram's head punches. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure you're squishing that bug all the way back through, turning those hips all the way through it. Keep that punch right there in center line. Make sure your wrist alignment's good, okay? So we're on right side back, Dan, right side back. Boom, all right. I'll count you ki, nice and loud, guys. Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. There we go. What are the 3 principles of striking? That's right. Fast, accurate, and powerful. What are the 3 principles of striking? Sir, they must be fast. Sir, they must be accurate, powerful. Very good. Okay, we're going to work on that side fist jab straight off that lead hand. It's going to go straight out, straight back. Remember, fast in, or fast out, faster in. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, too slow, 7, 8, 9, 10, also too slow. Switch. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1-2 punch combo. You're gonna do that lead hand, side fist jab, turn that, use that pulley, rotate all the way through, rechamber that left hand. You're gonna rotate that right hand all the way through. Ready? 1, 2. Where are we putting the ki, guys? Second punch, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you're getting a full extension on those jabs. We want that jab to hit all the way out and then get that punch all the way through, just like that. One more time. All the way out, then all the way through. Don't shortcut the jab. Even if it is a catalyst that's setting up your punch, right? If it's a catalyst coming up, you still don't want to halfway do it. You want to fully commit and then switch your hands up. Ready? Where are we at? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. Snap kicks, front foot. Got that left foot up, okay? Remember, we want to bring this foot all the way up. Chamber it nice and high, snap it out, snap it back, set it back down. We almost want, okay, if we're bringing that foot all the way up, we almost want to snap it out, snap it back, delay on the way back down. You really want to work that control all the way right here, pointing those toes directly towards your target, pull them back, snap it out, snap it back, put it right back where you got it from. Ready? 1. We can be faster. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just kind of do our best with it for right now. All right. Switch. Snap kicks. We're going to go off that back foot now. So right foot back, we're going to go ahead and pop that all the way forward. Bring it all the way back. Put it back where you got it from. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Bow off the mats. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On this next one, all the way up to that really high chamber. Snap it out, bring it back, and we're going to set it right back down. So you don't want to just slide it all the way through. You want to bring it up all the way to a high chamber so we can get really high into that kick, right? Because the higher the chamber, the higher that kick can go. If I only chamber here, well, that's about as far as it's going to go, right? You want to bring it all the way up, boom, kick it in, snap it back. Always put it back where you got it from. Switch. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring it off this back one now. 8, 9, 10. Switch. All right. Feet together.
Sir.
Take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths. Ready? Inhale. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Everybody feel that? Temperature lower in your hearts just a little bit. It's a good thing. All right, we're going to get into rising knee. So this is our purple belt technique. Rising knee comes out of the Shoshu Kung Fu tradition. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to reverse you guys. So you're looking at me in the mirror. We're going to step out to our your left, my right. Okay, we're going to step all the way over here. Imagine a clock face on the ground. We're going to be stepping over to like the 11:30 time frame. Okay, now you're going to take an inward palm press. This inward palm press right here is going to be like one of those really rude high-powered high fives. Okay, we're going to go ahead and palm press straight in this way. What we're dodging against right here, Sensei Becca, she's going to come over here, boom, taking that big left over to 11:30 on my step. I'm not moving away from the punch. I'm going to move straight into it. Okay, but I'm also going to move my head out of the way like this. Let's do it from the other side so we can see it. Okay, so I'm moving to the other side of the punch. That's what we're looking for. We don't necessarily care too much about this palm press. That's just there to check to make sure it's out of my way. Okay, so from here, now I'm going to take this right hand, going to put it right under my elbow. Okay, so it's that inward, outward, like that wax on, wax off kind of concept. Okay, inward, outward. This is now going to expose all these targets right in here, the floating rib and everything else in between. So I'm going to make a small circle. Doesn't have to be a big. I'm going to exaggerate so you can see it all the way through, and that's going to strike that floating rib. Okay, so again, it's going to be a small circle. I'm going to rotate to a rear bow, right? Turning my hips away, then turning all that power through. But I'm not going to just drive that power through. I'm going to graze that rib as I float all the way back to behind her, grab, knee, and then we're going to go ahead and chop as I'm rolling this chop. I'm going to chop again, and I've got one more target right here between, and chop again, okay? So one more time with it. We're stepping out, inward, outward, circle. Notice I'm starting to turn my hips, drive, so I've got this lowering, rising, up, chop, chop, chop on the way down. Let's do this in the air, guys. Sensei, thank you. All right, so stepping left foot out to about 11:30. We're gonna move our head off axis, make sure we don't get punched. Okay, ready, step, and high five. That's gonna be step one. Step two, we're gonna break it down Barney style. It's gonna go right up here, all the way through. Okay, bring it back, feet together. We can be louder. Ready? Step one, palm press. Step two, outward. Okay? Feet together. Let's merge that all to step one now. Ready? Step one, inward, outward. Good. From here, we're going to start rotating our forward hip, right? That's our left hip. We're going to start turning to the rear. You almost want to squish the bug, right? We want to turn this forward knee. As we turn that forward knee, we're going to rotate. We're going to make a small circle right here with our hands, put it about where the belt level is, and we're going to create a reversing punch. Okay? One more time. Step one, ready, go. Inward, outward. Step two, we're going to rotate and strike. See what we're doing with the hips here. Rotate, strike, okay? Come on over here, Aubrey. All right, so if I try to get this strike, okay, and it's way out here, just press against it, right? You think she can overpower that pretty well. So what we want to do, we'll turn around this way. What we want to do is we want to drive this strike right here, keeping it really close to our hip. Now she can press against it all day, and it's pretty powerful. But if I go out here with it, go ahead and, yep, it just collapses. So what we want to do with that is we want to keep this really close to the hip, drive it straight in, keep it really close to your belly button. Thank you. All right, okay. Step one, ready, go. Step two. Step three, we're going to rise this knee all the way up as we reach behind our opponent. We're going to grab about the back of the neck in the middle of the back, drive that knee up. Now we're going to take this step straight backwards. Boom, right here. This lead hand now is going to rotate, and it's going to become a chop. It's like a scooping chop just to help bring them down. Okay, what stance is this? Somebody call it out. Ooh, I heard it. Soft bow. There you go, senpai. Soft bow stance right here. I'm going to turn. As I'm turning, I'm going to go to rear, and that's where this first chop is going to hit when I turn to that rear bow, right? So I'm in forward, soft bow, turning, boom, rear soft bow. I'm going to rise up again, turn. That's going to be that third and final chop, okay? Remember that first one is kind of a chop, but it's more of a scoop. I just want to get their head down so we can really target that knot in the back of the head. All right, one more time. Ready? Step one. Step two, turn and strike. Step three, rise up with the knee. Stepping back. Step four, right here, it's going to become that first scooping chop action, just revealing that target. Okay, where are we at? 5, chop, and 6, chop. Okay, so we should have a lot of hip motion on here like a salsa dancer. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Let's try this in the air a couple more times. Ready? 1. Don't forget that outward. You got the first bit. Want to get that outward in there too. All right. Ready? 2. Got the punch. There it is. Got the reverse punch. You want to turn these just like when we do the ram's head punch. What do we want to do? Keep that wrist nice and tight all the way through. There you go. Okay. 3, we're reaching behind, driving that knee. Okay, hold that knee up there, work on your balance, guys. 4, you're gonna go ahead and plant that right foot back down where you got it, and you're gonna take that right hand as we're planting, we're gonna scoop back of the neck. 5, get that first chop in there. We're in rear soft bow. 6, rise up, drop. There we go. Okay, one more time by the numbers. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just for good measure, we're going to go ahead and cover out from there. 7, cover out. There we go. All right, now let's put it all together. Okay, rising knee. Okay, I'm going to stand over here in the middle. If you forget where you're at, just follow me. I'm going to do this nice and slow. Okay, we want to smooth out all those jagged edges, right? What's faster, a square, a box, or a wheel? A wheel. Right, so we want to make these things into a wheel, not a square. Hard, hard, that's not going to get me as much speed.
It depends on if the square is actually treads.
Even then it would be wheeled. Right, if you guys didn't hear that, he said it depends on if it's treads or not. All right, ready? 1. Oh, sorry, we're going all the way through. All right, feet together. All right, let's do it again, nice and slow, smooth out all those edges. Okay, rising knee, ready, move. Palm press, inward, outward, knee, chop, 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 cover out. Okay, one more time. Rising knee, ready, move. Okay. Rising knee, ready, move. There we go. All right, guys, partner up. What we're going to do when we partner up is we are going to be working on just that first bit, okay? So I'm going to come over here. We'll demonstrate what we want to work on. We want to break these skills down by step, right? So if he's going to be the bully in this case, he's going to be the first one to throw that punch. What I want to do is just learn this first bit, get off axis, inward, outward, okay? One more time. And then when I get really good with the inward, outward, now I want to add the other strikes in there, right? It was a really fast, really small circle, okay? One more time. Okay, now I'm going to bring up, we're going to get the other strikes in there. Okay, now I'm just going to slowly build on it. So we're going to get really good at that first step. Okay, inward, outward, and then I'm going to start bringing everything else in there. Okay, so just start with the inward, outward, get that block in there. All right, partner up, ready, go. Let me give her a hand. She just showed up.
He's closer to my height. Did I do something wrong?
No.
I thought I was supposed to teach rising knee.
Oh, my bad. All good. What do we got? Yes, sir. Absolutely. What do we got? Okay, go over there and work with Senpai Joe. Okay. Sky, you want to work with these fine ladies here? They'll hook you up.
Come on, who's touching me?
Me, I'm touching. You want to work with Sky? Sure. She's brand new here for us. All right. There it is. All right, good, good. Okay, take it to the next step. So we're gonna go inward, outward, get that rib strike. We're gonna take one more step, grab that knee. Be careful with the targeting on the knee, okay? All right, hold on, feet together. Sure. All right, check this out. So we ran into a quick question on the targeting for the knee. There are 3 targets you wanna go for, okay? First target's gonna be the groin, okay? Everybody knows You hit a gentleman in the groin, what's gonna happen? Chances are he's gonna buckle over. Now here's the reality though. Striking somebody there doesn't always equate to a first round knockout, if you know what I'm saying. It's not the end all be all, okay? You can forget what Master Ken says, when in doubt, re-stomp the groin, yes, but it's not gonna be your first strike, okay? What I wanna do, just like in the ABCs of, first aid, you wanna check your airway and breathing, right? A, B, C. Airway, breathing, and circulation. So that's the same thing we wanna do on our opponents, right? So how do we manipulate the airway? We've got the stomach and the solar plexus. Okay, right in here, there's that little hole right in the Spider-Man symbol where his stomach and his solar plexus meet, and that's gonna be what knocks the wind out of him. If we knock the wind out of our opponent, chances are we have an opportunity to get away much faster than if we just hit a really tough guy straight in the groin, right? So we wanna try to strike this knee, so when we're doing this, okay, when we reach up behind, we wanna bring this knee all the way up, try to hit that solar plexus, and then we're gonna take the hand and rake on the way down, chop, chop, cover out, okay? Carry on. What we got? Yo.
See, remember,
Make it a circle.
Not
Yep.
a wide circle, not a wide circle. More like you just rotating your shoulder.
Yep. Mind your business right here.
All right. So go to the outward block. From here.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. All right, Aaron, we want to step a little wider or a little more forward, right? So you got out of the way, but you compromise some of your balance because you're out here like this, right? So we want to step, boom, all the way into that good square horse stance. See, you're over rotating. There you go. We want to be right there in that square horse stance. Palm press, and then we want to circle this right on the inside. Boom, get this thing out, expose the targets, and that's when you're going to drive through the back. Cool? All right, and then you're gonna rake with the right hand, right? So your hand's already up here. All I've got to do is give it a little bit of a break and then rake through, okay? And then that's when I'm turning, okay? I'm gonna hit that first chop, rise up. Don't forget to rise up. All right, you gotta have the rise and the fall. Rise up, and you're gonna sink this other chop in there, okay? Good. Ah, there you go. It's not simultaneous, right?
His neck's really sweaty.
Yeah, you're really sweaty too, right? But it's not simultaneous. You got 1, 2, you get up here. This is a rake on the way down. I'm prepping this hand as I'm raking down, right? So raking down, prepping. I'm in soft bow. I'm gonna be in like an elevated soft bow deal. As I rake down, boom. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay?
It's just weird. I went to
It's slightly different.
when I went
but
to
it's
do
okay.
that on his neck. My
Yeah, it's all right. That's reality sometimes, though, right?
something else to practice on. You're hitting the block, flying.
I was expecting Harley to show up, and you showed up. I guess it's your day, huh? Yeah. Good for you.
No, I'm.
All right, so it's not two things. You got to get that circle in there too. Okay? So it kind of went towards me. You kind of almost did like a 1-2, like this. Like you want to do. Yeah, that's how you do it, right? Come on.
No,
Yeah.
it was only because you hit my elbow.
It's all
So
right.
it kind of hyperextended it.
It's gonna go 1. I'm gonna make a circle. And right here, I'm gonna rotate that circle. Okay. So it's not strike strike. It's not strike strike. It's 1 circle. And this circle then becomes part of that. So as we got the circle, that becomes part of that little.
And
Yep.
and you don't want to aim for like the middle. You want to aim for the
Yep,
side
absolutely.
to where it stays in fluid motion, to where you can just glide off the ribs and into the knee.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, give it another shot. Let's go, Noah. Punch him. Left hand first. Left hand first. Ready? Go. It's all right. We all are. Good. Keep this circle coming
So,
this way.
sometimes I can be a fast one.
It's like a little teacher trick, right? We're gonna put it back. So it's going up. 1 circle. Boom. Now you see how your hips started naturally floating? That's what's gonna drive that power as we roll this thing. So it's like we're training.
Don't aim here, aim for the ribs.
Yep.
wrist to where you can just glide off.
Good. And you want to hit with these two knuckles, right? So I can go sideways right here, that's fine. But I want to hit with these two knuckles so it just hooking straight in, right?
And that hurts.
It does.
I know from you doing it to me just now.
All right, go for it. Yep. And you got that, yeah, the right hand rake, right? So I'm gonna take this right hand. So I'm over here, I'm in the soft bow up here. This right hand, I'm gonna rake to open and expose this target. So I'm gonna rake, boom, boom, and then I'm gonna circle back through, okay? So I'm gonna mirror you right here so you can watch me the whole time. So he's gonna punch you, and we're gonna mirror it, and we're gonna go. 1, 2, go. Ready, go. 1, 2, reverse punch, knee. There you go. As I'm setting this knee down, I'm prepping my right hand. Break through. My left hand follows. Okay? This is now a rear soft bow. I'll rise back up and drop one more chop into his spine. Okay? One more again. Let's go. Let's see it. You got to stay close so you can get that knee in there. Okay?
I think the biggest thing to work on right now is that shoulder. You're still throwing your arm out.
There it is. Got to be gentle on those shots. You do want to practice with the focus in there. That's a spine, man. You got to be careful with it.
Don't move out of the way.
Sir. Yeah. All right. So you struggling or he's struggling? All right. So I'm going to mirror you. He's going to punch you, right? And I'm going to give you step-by-step, play-by-play action. So we're going to start right here, feet together. That punch is going to start coming in. I'm going to step off axis over here to 11 o'clock. We're going to get into a good base, right? So I'm not leaning too far forward, not leaning too far back. I'm just stepping right into that square horse stance, okay? So from here, I'm going to palm press in. I'm going to circle my right, circle, and it's going to circle all the way through like a restraint. There you go. So think about it this way. Right. Circle. Do like this. Do like this real quick. Right. So we got this train. There it is. We got the train. Right. So we're gonna go here. Right. Yeah. It's all right. Let's take it from the top. It's all right. We're all slow learners. It's okay. So he's gonna punch in. I'm gonna step in. 1. Right on the outside of my arm. Circle. Now I'm going to start rotating my shoulders back this way, and my hip's going to come with it. I'm going to set my right hand down by my hip. I'm going to turn and strike back through right into that floating rib. There you go. Now you see how far you are. We want to step a little closer through. I know it's kind of scary, but we want to step a little closer to the outside of it. Okay? So that's going to be all step 1 when you get that whole fluid flow go. All right, feet together. Let's try that one more time. Okay? Ready? Punch. Boom. Rotate through. Punch. Now I'm going to rise beyond him. Okay? With the hand that I punch, I'm going to come up and grab the back of the head. I'm going to grab the middle of the back. Bring that knee straight up to solar plex. Boom. As I'm going to set that knee down, I'm going to prep my right hand. All I have to do is pull it up and then chop through. So I'm going to rake through. Got chop. That left hand's going to follow. Right hand. Rise up and follow again.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Let's see it. All together now. On your own. Yeah, oh, you almost had it right there. Yep. There it is. There you go. Yep.
And then
Grab, knee. Set that right leg all the way down. Or right through. Left hand's gonna follow. Right? And then right hand's gonna go back right here, center of the spine. Yep. So when we do that, we want to drop. See how I'm ridging my hand like this? When I do that, I'm going to snap my wrist right down. Right? Don't do it to him real hard because you can hurt him. But if you have to do this in real life, what I want to see, boom, right there. Right? Not a problem. Let's see.
I find it very doubtful that someone's going to break your back with a knife.
Huh?
Now they're dropping an elbow or an axe.
Are we not here for the Bible? All right. Feet together. All right, we're going to go over a little bit of last week's curriculum as well. So spread out where you guys can do a little bit of review. We're not going to go to a full last week, we had tackle techniques A, B, C, and D, and we're gonna put those into rising knee, okay? So if you guys remember, we've got evasion, all those tackle techniques, and we're gonna probably, let's do the tackle techniques, we'll do evasion, and then we'll split off for sparring at about 8-ish, okay? So let's see if we can get through tackle techniques. Sure.
A demonstration of blending one of the tackle techniques with rising knee, or are we just doing something?
We'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it. All right, tackle technique A, okay? You guys remember it? Let's see it. Tackle technique A, ready, go. Real easy. There we go. Tackle technique A. I'm going to step back completely in line, okay? For demonstration purposes, right here. Got a stick. I'm going to put the stick on the ground right here on the outside of my other foot, my right foot. I'm going to put my left foot basically right in line with that stick. Boom, and that's where we're going to drive, okay? So instead of stepping natural back to where I'm going to have a good, like, fighting horse stance, we're moving out of the way of the opponent, and we're going to strike with that vertical rising elbow. Ready? Tackle technique A. Ready? Move. Nice. Feet together. Tackle technique A. Ready? Move. All right, tackle technique B. If you guys remember that one, it's the same thing as A, but instead of hitting that vertical, we're going to drop, and we're going to start moving this lead right foot. We're going to move that out of the way. Okay, we can practice a sprawl, or we can also practice going down on that knee. Again, it's slightly different than the video. I think the video just shows a sprawl. We got a lot of options with that. Ready? Tackle technique B, go. Yeah, there we go. Tackle technique B, ready? Go. Tackle technique B, ready? Go. All right, tackle technique C. This is going to be arms pinned, okay? Senpai Joe. Arms pinned in front. So, heaven forbid somebody gets me here, okay? I'm going to create space. Step back with that right foot, okay? As I explode up, I'm going to shoot these elbows straight down, inverting my wrists so my elbows are perfectly straight out. I'm going to rise up, go for the solar plexus or the groin, depending on how tall my opponent is. Okay, one more time. So he's got me in that pickup position. Step down, shoot my arms down. This creates some breathing room. Straight up, straight in, okay? Tackle technique C, ready? Go. Tackle technique C, ready? Go. Tackle technique C, ready? Go. Yes, you can finish it, Gabriel, if you want to finish it with the rest of it. Testable, we're here. On the video, we encourage some finishing techniques. Go ahead and get them in there if you know them. All right, tackle technique C, one last time, ready, go. All right, tackle technique D. This is gonna be a technique against arms pinned in back, okay? So Senpai Joe comes over here, he's gonna start tackling me from behind. Same thing, what I wanna do is I'm gonna shoot these hands in front of me, but instead of keeping my knuckles like this, I'm gonna invert because that's gonna create more of a distance right here. You see how it's bulging his arms out. When I do that, I'm gonna step really wide out to the left, boom. If I get this violently enough and his arms are shorter, this is gonna release that, okay? If he's still holding on, which is probably gonna be the case if he's got really long arms, okay, what I wanna do is take my right leg, I'm gonna hook the inside right here to his knee or his inner thigh, boom, and that's gonna start driving some of this out. And then here, we're gonna start driving him back by scraping his shin. I'm gonna do that side driving knife edge kick straight there, okay? From there, one more time, okay? We got 1, 2, 3. From here, I'm gonna turn out, okay? If he didn't fall to the ground and I start trying to run this way, okay, he can probably still grab me. We'll say we get through this whole thing, boom, I start running this way. He's got a real easy lunge to get me with both hands. I want to take one of those or kick, right? I want to take.
Back's wide open. I'm kicking you between the shoulder blades.
There you go. So I want to take one of those hands away from him. By doing that, we're going to come all the way out to the side. If he's still chasing me, I'm going to clap his ear. If he's going to grab my arm, that's great because as I cover out, I can turn, break his elbow straight to the ground. All right, so tackle technique D. Ready? Move. And out to the right there, Senpai. Or left, sorry. All right, tackle technique D, ready? Go. Tackle technique D, ready? Go. All right, we're gonna go over evasion one more time. Senpai Joe. There we go.
All right. Oh, I'm doing this one? Yep. All right. So, like we were practicing in rising knee, first movement is just a suggestion. If martial arts is a series of speaking, then this is the first step. This is a suggestion. Someone's coming at your face. It's like, no, thank you. Bring this up, and you're knocking them straight away. And let's see. C-step in, and then side. I think my blood sugar is getting to me. Knife edge kick. You're going for the shins. Better yet, you're going for the knee. This can depend again on how tall your opponent is. Shins are good at least. You can scrape them, get down to their tendons. You can do a big crunch. That's going to hurt them a lot. I can promise you that. I've been on the receiving end of one of those. It's not fun. But best case scenario, you're going to be hitting them right here in the knees. So let's say Spencer. So I'm just going to demonstrate the knife. Okay, so we're doing this, and boom. He's going down. Alternatively, boom, other leg. And then I can do all kinds of things to his head right there. So. All right, so once again, no thank you, get out of my face, chamber it, make sure you chamber. This is very important. You need to have a good chamber. When you fire off, you will be aided by gravity. And if you can hold this chamber for a long time, that proves that you can get yourself some good muscle control going. And fire, bring it back, cover out. So, one last time. Feet together. Step forward, J step, wind it up, slam, cover out.
All right, guys, go ahead and formation. Find yourself your spots. Okay, where'd I put my phone? All right, up and running. Get some of these wiggles out. Where is this? 1 on 1, go. If you can, yes. 2 and 2, go. All right, take seats. Okay, we're gonna do those breathing exercises again. This is part of your discipline training, right? Anytime my heart rate, my adrenaline's pumping, I lose the ability to start thinking clearly. I start thinking irrationally. We call that fight or flight, okay? So as we've got fight or flight going on, we want to start breathing. When we start breathing and filling our brains with oxygen again, that's where we start going from primal, if you want to even call it that, brain and thought process. We're going to switch that into going deeper into logical thought process. So we're going to take deep breaths in, okay? We're going to do 3 seconds in, hold for 3 seconds, 3 seconds out, okay? Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, okay? We're gonna wait for just a second, okay? Let some of that oxygen process. The next time we do this, I want us to think about God's life, think about creation. What happened in creation? He said that God breathed his breath of life into our nostrils. So when we start breathing in, when we start doing these breathing exercises, anytime you guys get frustrated with something, stop and breathe. Think about this. Breathe in God's life, okay? Hold, savor that moment for just a second, and then exhale slowly. And just like you exhale all the carbon dioxide out of your body, it's that same thing. You're exhaling all of the garbage from the day, okay? So before you go to sleep, try it. It'll start changing the way you think, okay? Inhale, focus on God's breathing, or God's breath of life. Hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. One last time, inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3. Okay, guys, check this out. Our word for this month, our core value, it's our very first one, is truth. What does truth mean to you? Malachi. Because I could. You were sitting there looking at me. What's truth mean?
Truth is not lying about stealing.
Not lying about stealing the cookies, the age-old recipe of mentorship. Yes, ma'am, Renessa. Okay, but if somebody asks you, did you steal the things? What are you going to say? No or yes, right? Go for it.
This mat is red and that one is black.
What if I said this one's red and that one's black?
You're colorblind.
Right? I would be colorblind or I'd be a liar. Truth is absolute. That is a great answer. Truth is absolute. As Senpai Joe always tells us, truth, as Oxford describes it, is a collection. What is it, collection?
I'm going to say only a Sith deals in absolute for sure.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Very well.
Collection of irrefutable facts.
Collection or a set of irrefutable facts. So we talked about this at the very beginning of the month. We were talking about absolute truth. As Jesus said, he is the way, not a way. He is the way, not a way, the truth and the life. Nobody goes to the Father but through him, right? So what does that mean for us, that there is absolute truth? If I come over here and I've got $2, there's my cool pens. There we go. If I got $2 and I bring it to Renessa, because she's my banker today, I say, here you go, there's $2. And then the very next day I come back over here and I go, here's $2 more, okay? And then the very next day, I think I've got $22 because I'm going to come over here and I got a 2 and a 2. Clearly that's 22, and that's the logic that I'm living my life through. That's the lens that I see the entire world through. And I come back over here and say, Renessa, I need to withdraw my $22. How's she going to look at me? Like I'm absolutely insane. Like I've got a third eyeball popping out of my forehead, right? So we can discover through the science of math and creation that truth is absolute. Colors are colors. God designed them that way. So when we start rolling down the street trying to imagine our own truth, it's only going to set us up for failure. Now, if I choose that I self-identify as a billionaire and for my own mental health reasons, some bank somewhere has to give me $1 billion, is that going to be real? So we start getting on really wishy-washy ground when we stop diving into what is absolutely true. So God says that his word is true. And that's where we went to the next season of this thing. We talked about Psalm 19, said what? We see all of God through creation. The heavens declare his glory. Every day they cry out, yet their voice is never heard. How crazy is that? So all of creation, we start seeing God through his creation. It's even backed up in Romans chapter 1 when he says, everybody, there's no excuse, this is a paraphrase, but there's no excuse for not knowing God. Since the beginning of time, we have seen his divine nature and invisible qualities. Guys, you can go outside. Who was it? I think it was somebody in the homeschool class the other day. It was like, you know what, when I go outside and I look at a tree, I'm just like, man, what even is a leaf anyway? You know, can you go make a leaf? If I gave you a bunch of Legos, could you make a leaf? Could you make it work with the chlorophyll and all the things like that? It's not going to work. It has a designer. So nature is pointing back to how beautiful God is. Then we got into Psalm 19:7 where it said, anybody memorize it? The word of God is perfect, reviving the soul. The decrees of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. So if you're not wise and you're simple and you need wisdom, you go to the Lord and he gives you that wisdom. It's a beautiful thing, right? But it's also trustworthy. We like, yes, sir.
If you're simple, you're going to deposit $2 one day, $2 next day, and you can
You're not wrong. He says, if you're simple, you're going to come over here to my board, you're going to deposit $2 one day, $2 the day after that, and you're going to think that you got $22 in the bank, right? But instead, we have wisdom through God, and it's trustworthy. And then we start looking back at the original intent of creation and how God takes that moment to take a step back and he says, trust me at my word. What happened? Adam and Eve, they stopped trusting God at his word. The serpent says, hey, did God really say you can't eat of any of the trees? What did he say? Anybody remember? Renessa. Don't eat of the tree of the good and evil, right? Help her out a little bit. What's it say?
She said that they couldn't touch it or even look at it.
Yeah, she basically said, yeah, God said we can eat of all the trees except for the one that's in the center of the garden, which was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then she embellishes and says we can't even touch it. The original command was don't eat of it. Doesn't mean you can't look at it. Doesn't mean you can't touch it. That doesn't mean you can't go over there and prune it and tend to it. But God said don't eat of it, right? And then what happens? Satan turns around and he says, hey, God's holding out. This is a paraphrase, but look at it. He says, God's holding out on you. His decrees aren't trustworthy. He knows that you won't die, but instead you will be like him, knowing both good and evil, right? When you start reframing it that way, now all of a sudden we see why in Psalm 19 it tells us that the decrees of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. When you cross-reference that again with Romans 1, it tells us that we're not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of salvation for all those who believe, first to the Jew, then to the Gentile. And again, it sums up Psalm 19 perfectly. I'm going to challenge you guys again to look at Psalm 19. Today we're going to be in Psalm 139. Sorry for the really long recap. Okay, but it says, search me, O God. This is Psalm 139, verse 23 and 24. It says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me to the way of everlasting. Okay? What does that mean for us? That means God searches us. That means we have to completely lay it out, bare to God, and say, you know what? I can't hide anything from you anyway, so search me, God. Right? When we come face to face with absolute truth, like for instance, if I had that $22 in my brain and I come over to my banker and say, Renessa, I need my $22, and she says, dude, you don't have $22. Now I got to deal with this truth somehow. Absolutely have to deal with this truth. Either I'm going to start getting real big in my own spirit and rage out and start smashing everything in the bank because this is an injustice. I swear to you, I have $22. She's going to be like, no, dude, check it out. Count them. You got two here, put them together. How many does that make? 4, right? Pretty simple math. But when I come face to face with truth, I now have to do something with that. I now have to do something with that. So what do? We say, search me, God. Know my anxious thoughts. Know my anxieties. God, I can't hide anything from you. And then teach me. Lead me in the way of everlasting life. Right? We come face to face with God's truth. We then own up to our own truth that we're sinful, wicked humans. Okay? And then we say, see if there's any wickedness in me, because we want to bring that wickedness up to the surface and we want to go ahead and cut it off. Right? If you guys were tuned into the podcast today, Senpai Joe and I, we were talking about this thing. We were talking about all of the insanity of life. Like if you take a piece of metal that's hiding in the ground and is perfectly comfortable in that ground, and you take it out of the ground, what happens? It's going to be uncomfortable, right? But then you got to do an acid bath, you got to clean it up, and then you smelt this thing down in a big vat deal. Okay, I didn't look up the word, I'm sorry. The big old jar, essentially, that gets superheated to like 17,000 degrees Kelvin or something ridiculous. Don't quote me on the numbers. I'm dyslexic with numbers. Dyscalculus is the word. But we've got this thing now happens, and we melt the metal. All the impurities rise up to the top, and we got to go ahead and scrape that off. And then repeat it. Were you tuning into the broadcast today? Yeah. And repeat it. And then it repeats. And then it repeats. And then we take that out, and we've got a mostly purified metal, right? We're going to pour that into a mold, a rod, and then we're going to sell that to a blacksmith. Some big burly dude like Sensei Patrick's going to come over here and start hammering on this thing. He's going to put it back in the fire. He's going to get it glowing red hot. You're going to pull it out, put it up against an anvil, hammer on it. Sparks are flying. Do you guys think that that's a good process?
Yes.
It's a great process if you're trying to build a sword. If you were that piece of metal, would you feel good right now?
No.
Absolutely not. And you'd be totally devastated every single step along the way with every single hammer blow. You're sitting here going, why me, O Lord? Which lament is good. It's in the Psalms. You can lament. You can say, Lord, why? What is going on? Rescue me. Let me see a little bit of that hope. And then what happens? The blacksmith takes that rod that he's been smashing into a sword, crafting the blade, checking it with every hammer swing. He starts dipping it down into that little thing of ice water. Guess what? You start seeing the reflection of yourself. And you're like, oh, dude, I'm going to be an awesome sword, right? The blacksmith gets done, but are you done there? What happens next? You got to sharpen it. Iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Okay, so Why am I telling you how to make a sword? Because we're not going to go make swords, but if God is forging you into a sword, what does that mean for your life? That means you're going to go through pain, you're going to go through suffering, and this is how you come face to face with the truth of God, stop and deal with it. You say, God, show me in my life what is wicked so I can do business with it, so we can take it to the next level, so I can be closer to you, closer to your image, closer to the thing that you've created me to be. As Ephesians 2:10 tells us, we are God's masterpiece. That doesn't mean you're God's accident. It doesn't mean that some neutrons collided somewhere and all of a sudden out popped an amoeba that then evolved into you. No, you are God's masterpiece, delicately designed. Look back in Psalm 139, it says that he knows how many hairs you have on your head. How crazy is that? He says he skillfully knit you together in your mother's womb. He fearfully and wonderfully made you. You are intentional. Back to Ephesians 2:10, you're God's masterpiece, created new in Christ to do what? To do the things he planned for you long ago, which means from the very beginning of time, God had a plan for your life. And without Christ, when you take that step into the light from the darkness, that is when you have now the wisdom that God's word provides you, the revival of your soul that we talked about last week, right? And now you have the wisdom that God has provided you so you know the good things that God has for you, the plan that he had from the very beginning of time for your individual life. That's a pretty crazy thought. Now, if I start looking at that as my truth, like in Block Set 1, I've got to defend that with everything I have because the world's coming for that truth. The world doesn't want you to believe anything that God has for you, right? The world wants you to believe that you are an accident. Who can sit here and say, I'm an accident and I have hope for the rest of my life? Not really. It's kind of a devastating thought process, right? But if I sit here and say, God designed me with intentionality to be a weapon against evil, forged in the fire, battle-tested, ready, man, that starts to be a little awesome, right? So as we think about that today, that's what I want us to dwell on as we move into the weekend, the rest of the week, is that the truth of the matter is God designed you with intentionality and purpose. And as we step into Block Set 1, we protect that truth. Everything we know is right here. We protect that truth with everything we have. Because as soon as you lose sight of that truth, that's where sin happens. What happened to Adam and Eve in the garden? They lost sight of God's truth. They stopped trusting him at his word. Guys, I would encourage you, trust God's word. Be vulnerable with God, and he will be vulnerable with you because he designed you to be in a perfect, vulnerable relationship with God, like we talked about a little bit last week. They were naked in the garden. God knew every aspect of their lives, and they still tried to hide. It's going to sound really weird, but are you naked with God? Don't think of it in the American culture of things, but think about it. Are you really that vulnerable with God? Do you have that kind of relationship with God? Let's pray. Father, again, Lord, we just thank you for the reminders in your word that your truth has everything for us, that it is not only what revives our soul, but Lord, it regenerates our mind, that we're created new in you. So God, tonight I ask that you give us the courage that we need to defend that truth, that we would take every thought that penetrates our mind to make us believe that we're not enough, and we would take it captive and force it to obey your will, Lord. That we'd be able to take that step forward and say, you know what? God, you designed me for better. Lord, just give us the courage to stay on that path. As you lead us in the way of everlasting life, Lord, just give us the courage to follow step by step. Father, we love you. Pray this in the powerful name of Jesus. Amen. All right, you guys can stay seated. Before we close out class, I want to recognize an individual today that has been working pretty closely, and as we're working to establish our Albuquerque school here very soon, I want to bring up Senpai Joe. So, a little unorthodox for a promotion on a Wednesday night, but I wanted to, in front of the class here, as you've been helping us lead, you've been helping us with stretches, you've been helping us with things you're studying on your own. You're working with me on almost every Tuesday night that we make it out there, and we're going to be working together for the rest of our lives doing this karate thing. But I wanted to talk about what this belt symbolizes. So the kanji is red and black, okay? but it also is a black and white belt. One side of it is black, one side of it is white, okay? And what it means is that we're always going to be that work in progress. And as he's working towards his first degree black belt, he knows that he's still a work in progress. But in this, he has the capacity of a sensei. He has the capacity to lead. He has the capacity to teach. And so in honor of the work that he's put into this, we're going to go ahead and give you this belt. And again, it's that work in progress. You're not there yet, but you're training hard. So here's your training wheels. As he's putting that on, I was going to say this as well. The kanji on there is red, or black with a red outline, and that symbolizes the grace, the blood of Christ covering us, as we know that we're a work in progress, but as he's working towards his goal, he knows that he's working towards the goal that God has given him. And on top of that, also, here is your first instructor level
Oh boy.
credential, signed by Grandmaster Inger himself.
Oh wow.
Proud of you, man.
Cheers,
Keep up the
mate.
good work. Awesome. Give him a round of applause. Appreciate you. You can keep that on the wall. You can take it home. You can do what you want with it.
I'll have to check
Awesome.
with my wife about this.
Okay. All right. On your feet. End all things with prayer. Weapon, shield, his glory. Awesome. You guys are dismissed. If you guys are staying for sparring, sparring's going to be right over here. Grab your gear, and we'll go till about 8:30, 8:45, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, if you need to borrow a helmet, go for it. Yeah.